So, overconfidence. I don't know what this is going to do to my player, and I'm going to hedge my bets and meditate. Worst case scenario, I can just keep doing this until we're cleared and we should be ready to go for the first game of the season. Speaking of which, I can actually shuffle my schedule if I'm not satisfied with the teams I'm playing against, and I don't want to play Nij again or Knack Breeder again. We already played them twice in 2 seasons. Let's go with this one. Our player is making a lot of money now, especially since we're about to get another sponsor offer, this time for a soft drink. Perhaps we were destined to become overconfident because even if I had meditated in time, this might have thrown us back over the edge. But now we find out what overconfidence means, and it's a penalty to training speed. If this is all it is though, I'm not as worried about it. We can deal with a slight reduction for now and just do relation training, which failed the last attempt, but I scored more than enough points in the first 4 to get the maximum I could have gotten out of this session, and then, to my surprise, we've already recovered from overconfidence, or as the game puts it, fully recovered from mental depression. Ayo? I wasn't expecting 2 meditation sessions to wipe out 9 weeks from the estimated recovery time, but it did, and it actually ended up benefiting us because we got a max out of our motivation and condition as a result of the recovery, meaning I could do relation training immediately. Now I get a call from the national team manager pretty much confirming that we're going to get selected at the end of the season if we don't do anything stupid. And I also get a unique visit from a supporter who gifts us football trading cards. I'm not sure what I can use them on, if anything, but what I do know is that our motivation is maxed again. 3 mini games in a month, and this time I go with speed. Throughout this season, I noticed that my player is a lot better now, so I was actually able to clear this level 2 and get our speed minigame up to level 3. And now, time for the first game of the season. We're playing Utrecht, and you know the routine by now. The results of these early league games aren't that important, but we still want to play well in them, which unfortunately I was struggling to do. It had been a while since my last VPF recording, and I was clearly rusty as Utrecht started playing well against me, and in fact they get this chance where this header, I thought it was a shot, turned out to be a pass, and Fortune was barely onside, and they duped me. 1-1. So we get a through ball from Beasley into Binns, and good chance to score, but the keeper is too quick onto it this time. We go 1-on-1 with Venegor instead and get through. The keeper spills it, and had Binns made a first touch shot, that would have been a goal. Instead it's a corner, and we get a chance, but Alex puts the header wide. And we got to be careful here because what the rain does is make it difficult for keepers to catch even simple shots. Utrecht is getting a couple of dangerous chances just by blasting at Gomez, but we do manage to clear both, and here's our own attack. It was looking very promising, but once again I'm let down by the first touch. Beasley put it out towards the wing before trying to pass it back in. After all of that though, the match ended in a draw, which was a disappointing result for me given that the scenario was 1-0 up without any caveats. Back to training then. I'm focusing on power again because it's essential for our build to have heading and jumping, and this starts a streak of me not training for a bit because first we have to give the gift to Sarah. She likes the heels in particular, but then we get another sponsorship offer for a magazine, which boosts our ego right back into the danger zone, so I have to meditate again so that we don't have to deal with overconfidence again. And now I rest. It's only on October week 2 that I can cash in on my max motivation with another minigame, which I don't do so well in. Once again, can't win them all. So I trained power for 2 more weeks, got a quick pep talk from the manager, and then switched to attack because I ultimately want to raise both categories, and I don't need one more than the other necessarily. After that attack session, I get this email from a very parasocial fan, AO times 2. So that maxes out my motivation again, just in time for the next match. But I'm going to show off the attack minigame again. At level 3, you have to take on 3 defenders, and whilst it is possible to score, as you can see, it is actually pretty difficult to get a chance at all, and that's why I am avoiding it. In the context of a one-shot, it's easier for me to do skill and speed because I only need to beat 1 defender each time. Here's our match against Leverkusen, and we're starting with the scores tied, us with 10 men, which is a problem. But what a strike from Koku! Once again, the keeper caught napping on the short side, and now, even with us down a man, we should be able to hang on and win this match because there isn't much time left. But I'm also having to deal with a kit clash that I didn't notice before starting the game, and Leverkusen are taking advantage. Fryer with a shot goes wide, so instead he tries to whip in a cross with time winding down, but it goes straight to Ball, who kicks it out, and that is the game. I managed to hang on, and we are through to the next round of the European League. Onward to December, where we get the usual events, the manager talk, and the charity event. I give 100,000 as per usual, and in December week 2, our motivation's maxed again. Time to do the speed mini game, which, if you get 2 out of 4 on level 3, that's just enough points to count as a success, unlocking level 4, and also getting a slight bonus for succeeding. As for training in weeks that I don't have mini-games, I'm still alternating between attack and power. That brings us to winter break, and my first order of business is to go out with Jack. I want to build my relationship with him up to the point where I trigger at least one of his unique events, just to show it off. Heading into January, Robert visits us again, and this time, he wants to hook us up with his mentor because he's not confident in his own ability to negotiate with the top clubs. I have said that I would only move away from PSV Eindhoven if a particularly good club came knocking, and I think Correlone here is the best way for us to get those top clubs interested in us, so I have to accept this proposal. To give credit to Robert, he did give us the Ajax and Valencia offers last season, but now let me take Sarah out and show off another mechanic at the fortune teller. This is one of the few play options that comes with an interactive element. You can ask the fortune teller a question. The one that I don't immediately know the answer to is the love life. Sarah has no special feelings for us right now. You know what? Fair, because I rarely take her out during the season because I'm trying to maximize my training gains. So let's make up for lost time and take her out again. This also boosts our ego back into yellow just in time for the second half of the season. And my motivation's also maxed out, so let's do the speed minigame while we're at it, which this time I struggle with. I mean, it was always going to happen every so often. This isn't a particularly easy minigame to complete. For the next few weeks, my extra training focus was on attack. In February week 1, we got a well-timed chance to do extra training with UGS since I was going to have to rest the following week either way. And then in February week 3, Tommy gives us an amazing item, the application. What this does is halve our condition losses, which you'll immediately see with this extra training with Affalay. We only lose 10 condition, and this will make it a lot easier for us to manage our condition and only rest when our motivation is maxed out. And speaking of motivation, it's time for another training game. I decided to do skill this time, and if we're going to unlock level 5 in skill, we're going to need to go 4 for 4 and have those successes be complex tricks. So I try to do that, but only go 3 for 4 on this occasion. Oh well, it still dead nets us pretty good attribute boosts. So this has normally been where I cut the episode, but since we have the prospect of playing additional matches for the national team in June, I'm actually going to play this league game against FC Twente before ending the episode. But it's not an ideal start for us here against FC Twente. A goal down heading in, and this 3 kick isn't at the right angle for Koku to cannon it through. If you're wondering why I don't try to go over the wall instead, it's actually a lot harder in this game to topspin a ball over the wall than it is to simply shoot it at the keeper and hope they get frozen out. And whilst we're on the subject of shots getting blocked, Sometimes my teammates are the problem. I want to at least try and force a save from the keeper in these conditions because I know he will likely spill it and will get a rebound chance. But first, ball's shot after this cross gets blocked. And then later on, Binns is fighting for the ball, finally gets it, has a chance to shoot, but then Seabonk gets in the way, and that's another chance we could have had that we didn't get. And sadly, that's all she wrote today. We're unable to score and we lose 1-0, and whilst the fans are still very supportive of us, we get to take photos with them, and we receive another one of those RNG food items, the exotic fruit. The manager is less pleased, and going into next episode, we need to find a way to reverse this slump because every match from now on is going to be a key match in its respective competition.